Welcome to Encounter, where we celebrate putting faith into action and community leaders who live out compassion, grace, and love. We're a program of the Broome County Council of Churches that addresses food insecurity through CHOW and the Greater Good Grocery, provides hospital and jail ministry, builds wheelchair ramps, and assists neighbors with transportation and shopping services through Faith in Action volunteers. We invite you to the conversation. Encounter your neighbors as we learn to walk together in love and kindness.
Good morning. My name is Joe Sellepack. I'm the host of Encounter today, the Executive Director of the Broome County Council of Churches. Aging in Broome County. We found out, if you look through the census data on Broome County, you find that we are a very aging population here in Broome County. A lot of our population is over the age of 55. And then we also have a lot of services for people who are over the age of 55. And one of those services that the county offers us is the Office for Aging, OFA. Mary Turbush is the director of OFA, and she is one of the county employees who helps direct a I looked at your website. It's pretty vibrant kind of program. So, Mary, welcome to Encounter.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So Mary, how does a person become the director of the Office for Aging? I mean, it's you've had a lot of different positions inside of Broome County and in our area. Tell us a little bit about your journey, about how you became director.
So I spent 20 years at a nonprofit in the local area, and while I was at the nonprofit, I pursued a Master's of Public Administration degree at Binghamton University, and in 2018 I graduated with that.
All right.
So a little later in life, but that's okay. And once I got that degree, I continued working at Catholic Charities through most of the pandemic. And then I was approached by the county executive and the current director of the Office for Aging at the time that she was retiring and they were looking for a replacement and they wanted to interview me. So I was appointed by the county executive at that point.
Excellent. So, well, you know, you've been now in the role for about 6 years,
Yep.
right? So tell us a little bit about what Office for Aging does and some of the services that you provide and how people might be able to connect with them.
So people tend to tell us that they don't know about Office for Aging. It's one of those services that until you need it, you find it. And people do believe, because it's called Office for Aging, that you have to be, you know, over 85 to use the services. But we do have services that serve people of all ages. We have a New York Connects program, which people call in, and we have a call center type service. And that can be any age person calling in looking for long-term care supports, whether it's for a child that has needs or it's for SNAP benefits. It doesn't matter how old you are. Anybody can call that line to get information. We partner with the Southern Tier Independence Center, who handles most of the younger people, but our staff is trained to handle all of those calls as well. Most of our services are for people that are 60 and over.
Right.
And we like to call them older adults. Some people choose the phrase seniors. Most of our services are set into categories of our call center, which are all caseworkers,
Right.
our long-term care supports, our nutrition program, our transportation services, which we can talk more about if you would like. But we do have one program that serves 55 and up as well, and that's our foster grandparent program.
I was looking at that. That's a pretty cool program that you have going on. So what happens with that? How does a person get involved?
So I'd like to say our foster grandparent program is one of the oldest programs that we have. It's a federal subsidy program. So the way that people get involved in that program is if you're 55 and older and you already receive some form of benefit, and you might want to work but worried that your benefits would be reduced because of your work allotment that you would get. This is a subsidized program, so people have to meet income qualifications, and they have to reside in certain, in Broome County basically, and we look for people in certain school districts as well. But you receive a stipend, and you receive mileage, and you receive a hot lunch every day. And those benefits that we provide to you do not count against you for the other subsidies that you get, whether it's SNAP or Social Security or things like that.
And what do these grandparents do?
So some people call them volunteers, but they are receiving a stipend, so that confuses people. And sometimes people don't want to volunteer because they need the money. You are getting paid a stipend to go into schools and daycare centers and local libraries to support children with special needs.
Okay.
So the foster grandparents are assigned to different children that have needs. Those children are chosen by the school district or the library or the daycare center. And you're there to support the teacher and the children. Having somebody focus on some of the children that need a little extra attention gives the teacher time to focus on other children, or the daycare provider or the librarian.
And for a lot of seniors, this really gives them a sense of purpose, I would imagine.
Oh yes, almost 100% of our survey results from older adults is that they feel more connected to their community and services and feel less isolation and loneliness participating in the program. Also, 97% of the teachers report that the children have made improvements because of foster grandparent involvement.
And so if a person wanted to be involved with the foster grandparent program, how would they go about enrolling or seeing if they qualify?
Yep, so anybody that wants to even find out if they qualify, because there are the income guidelines, can call our office. Do you want me to give the number?
Yeah,
At 607-778-2411. They can ask to speak with Allie or Robin. And not only people looking to be the foster grandparents, but if there's schools or daycare centers or libraries that are looking to become a site to host a foster grandparent, we're open to taking those calls as well.
Yeah, and so the foster grandparent is one of the programs, and I was, I looked through your website, so if people can go to the Broome County website and then find Office for Aging off of the Broome County website. The website has a lot of materials on there, and people can get your annual report as well as the newsletter and all kinds of other things. But one of the things that we were talking about before was that even though it's such a robust website, it doesn't really capture all the things that you do, right?
That's true.
So what are some of those other things that you're kind of working on?
So the website has a what I would call our traditional pots of services.
Right.
And the website's a good place to look up those things, which is in-home care, casework services, senior centers, transportation. But every year we look at what the barriers are, the needs that aren't being met in the community, and we try to use special funding from New York State Office for Aging called Unmet Needs Funding to kind of plug those holes in services. Those aren't necessarily listed on our website. Those are a range of services. So right now, Office for Aging does screen older adults or their caregivers for home cleanouts. Like if you know somebody that's living in a hoarded situation and there's safety concerns, we do have a hoard cleanout contract. We also, due to lack of aid services in Broome County and also across New York State, we have to be creative in offering services when we can't find aides. Some of the services that aides provide are just general maintenance cleaning, going into homes one time a month and just cleaning. So we offer that type of service. We offer extermination services for people that own their homes, landlords are typically responsible if you're renting a home.
Right, right.
So we offer that type of service. We offer a laundry delivery service. We have a program where we're connecting older adults with mental health services right in their homes. We have a United Health Services contract, and they go right to the home. A social worker will come and do an assessment, and then peer advocates will meet weekly if needed with people right in their homes, so they don't have to feel that stigma. If they are concerned about getting mental health, we can do it right there.
Yeah. So I would imagine there are ways that people can connect with Office for Aging. So that number that you gave is probably one of the ways they can do that, calling in that number.
Yes, so our office prides itself on having caseworkers available to answer all of our phone calls. So when you call that number, 607-778-2411, you are getting our front desk, who is then getting a live caseworker who is on standby to take calls. And we take phone calls that range from, you know, my computer's not working and I'm trying to find out what the weather is today, to caregivers calling with very serious concerns, or even people calling with very serious concerns. We are happy to take any call from anybody of any age at that phone number.
And so you know, these services would be able to be accessed through calling that number. Like,
yes.
That number is the hot number that everybody should have on hand if they were looking for services for older adults in our community.
Yeah.
So we were talking too a little bit about scamming, because we know that scamming, I'll be the first to admit, you know, I get scammed. You know, people are emailing me. They're trying to get my personal data, my personal information, and all the rest of that. I can imagine that for a lot of seniors, especially when they haven't been grown in the technological sense that even I was. You know, for me, I'm not a computer native, but I'm pretty close to it. I mean, right. I can't remember the TRS-80, I think, was Radio Shack kind of version, but that I was involved with when I was in high school. But you know, it has become almost mandatory for people to have some kind of online presence. But it's become very easy for people to prey on others. P-R-E-Y, not P-R-A-Y.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So how does your organization help people like that?
So there's a couple of things that we do. We do have a contract with Department of Social Services and Adult Protective Services, which is called our Elder Abuse Outreach Program. So I think people naturally are inclined to call Adult Protective and say, my neighbor, sister, brother, friend is in need of help. Adult Protective has a high standard of the cases that they review. Typically what happens is those cases, if no services are currently involved, they're diverted over to Office for Aging, and we send out our caseworker to help people link to services, and if they're being scammed, help them, you know, figure out what the next steps are. We have worked with many scam victims, and we have worked with many people that were able to help prevent scams. So we do work on both ends of that. There's a lot of literature and a lot of education that our office can provide people on scamming. We work with the Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, and even the County Clerk's Office has some new programs to prevent deeds from homes from being scammed. So there's a lot of services, and people, because scamming, it's such a wide variety of scams out there. If you have concerns about scamming or how to prevent it, you should contact our office and talk to a caseworker, because we're gonna tailor our different suggestions based on what's going on. We do have a program that we're working with called Silver Shield, and Silver Shield is a AI type of program that can be it can give you a phone number that we access. that allows you to take pictures or send forward emails or texts if you think that you're getting scammed. And this Silver Shield program will tell you what to do. Don't click on this. This is a scam. It goes through some AI data to figure out where it's coming from. It reports it to authorities for you. So we do have some new technology in that regard as well. But there is lots of just discussion points that we can have with people to prevent scamming as well.
My guest today is Mary Turbush. She is the director of the Office for Aging, and we are talking about aging in Broome County, services that they provide, and currently we're discussing scamming and how seniors can get protection. So is this one of the ways that a congregation can help inform people? So, you know, I know that the majority of the folks that attend my congregation are seniors. Yep. And so seniors is a very large population of people that are attending church these days. So when you're thinking it through, how can a congregation help senior citizens specifically be safe in living independently?
Well, just speaking of scams, and then we can move on from that, there is a lot of literature on our website and on our Facebook page and on the New York State Office for Aging Facebook page. There are videos that really touch on a lot of the current scams that older adults are hit with. The grandparent scam, which is your AI voice of one of your grandchildren calling you. Right. That's a big one right now. Romance scams, because older adults tend to have a higher rate of loneliness and isolation. Congregations really do help that piece because older adults feel comfortable with their congregations. So maybe have a forum where it's okay for people to bring these things to you, or contact our office if they need some help and guidance if somebody has brought to a congregation information about possibly being scammed. We can work with local banks. Adult Protective can work with local banks. We have stopped mortgage fraud. We have been able to get lawyers involved when someone's house actually was sold out from under them.
Oh, wow.
And a lawyer was able to return it. There is a lot of scamming going on, but social isolation is a key factor of people that get scammed. That doesn't mean everybody that gets scammed has social isolation, but you tend to be on your phones more, on the websites more if you're socially isolated. So going to congregations, going to senior centers, visiting with family can reduce your risk of being scammed. But also, not being afraid to tell somebody when you think you might be scammed. We have been told there's this feeling of being embarrassed that they fell for this. We are all falling for these scams, no matter what age you are. Anybody that is using internet or social media or email or texting probably has had at some point scams sent to them and have fallen for it. So don't be embarrassed to reach out and ask for help to get yourself out of the situation.
And so that would be one way that a congregation could help. But a lot of, you know, it's interesting because a lot of congregations, they have people that visit seniors and people that are shut in inside their houses. And we're one of the ways that, you know, that like Meals on Wheels and other kinds of things get delivered. So when we're inside of someone's house and we see that they're living in an unsafe environment, or if there's other factors that are at play, like elder abuse is a broad category.
Yes.
But when we see something like that happening, how do we begin to report that?
So just to touch on both the Meals on Wheels program that we operate, as well as Western Broome Meals on Wheels operates one as well, and the shopper service that Office for Aging operates with Broome County Council of Churches, I would say that they see some of the highest needs in older adults, and older adults that are probably more frail than, say, some coming to our senior centers. There's a reason why the meals and the shopping service is going to them.
Right.
And when people are engaging with older adults that are more isolated and more frail, we would want to know about them. We would want to be able to talk to them and offer services and assistance. We have services that go right into the home, like I've mentioned. We have friendly visiting programs, as do you. So we have, caseworkers that go to the homes, and we do offer aid services, and our office did provide about 30,000 hours of in-home aid service last year. So people that are maybe the conduits of that for older adults, could call them with us, could call them without the older adult just to get information. We have so many services, and we want to know every older adult in Broome County and where they're at and what their needs are, and let them know that we're here if they want to talk to us. They don't have to commit to services. It might just be us talking to them and saying, this is what you're eligible for. But we are a support system, and we do have caregiver services as well. So maybe an older adult doesn't want services, but maybe the person that's caring for the older adult wants services, and they should call us too.
And as one of the other things is, as a pastor, I end up going into homes, and I'll look around, and some of those homes, you can tell that the person is a hoarder.
Yep.
How do you? What would you? I know it's an awkward conversation to have with a person, but how would you counsel a person to kind of help them work through the steps in order to get that person help?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what we talk about is that people that hoard, it's not something new. It's not like, oh, I'm over 60 now, I'm going to start hoarding. It's collections that they love and things that they've picked up through their life that is very important to them. But what happens is, when you're older, it's a lot harder to put things back where you found them, or if something falls on the floor, bending over to pick it up. There's a lot of reasons why homes become hoarded. And for us, it's saying to people, it's really about keeping you in your home, keeping you safe in your home. If you're not going to be safe in a home because you can't walk through it, or you're having health issues because your windows can't be open, that becomes a situation where people have to start talking about, is this home right for you? We at Office for Aging, our entire role is to keep people in their homes. Make sure they're safe, make sure they have what they need. And sometimes in order to do that, it's cleaning a pathway. It doesn't mean when we say we do hoard cleanouts that we're emptying all the contents of your home. It means that you need to have some reduction or some moving around of items in order to remain there safely. So it's delicate conversations. It's sometimes working with our mental health provider through UHS in the home, because hoarding does, there is a mental health component sometimes because people are very attached to these belongings. So there's a lot of different ways we talk about that. And we always send a caseworker out to review the situation before we do a clean out of a hoard.
So those are some of the, for want of a better word, those are some of the hard things that the Office for Aging kind of deals with. But there's some fun things too, right?
Yep.
So Office for Aging provides a lot of fun things for seniors in our community. So what are some of those?
So I think the biggest one that people are familiar with is the senior centers.
Right.
So Broome County, we are very fortunate to have 8 senior centers in Broome County. 6 of them are completely run by the Office for Aging. 1 of them is run by Johnson City Senior Center, which is a nonprofit. And then the one in the First Ward is run by the City of Binghamton. Office for Aging hosts nutrition programs in all of those centers. Johnson City and First Ward utilize a lot of our programming, but have programming on their own as well, because they're not mandated to do what we're doing. We do all work very well together. Our nutrition program we're required to have a balanced, healthy, hot lunch Monday through Friday. And it is very good food.
Yeah.
I eat there all the time.
I've been there.
Yeah. So that's something that we encourage people to come out, and with food being so expensive these days and dining out being kind of a luxury because of expenses, it's a suggested contribution for those 60 and over, including their spouse of any age, of $4, and it's a suggested voluntary contribution. If you're under 60, you pay $5, but where can you get a bargain like that in going out and having friends to talk to? Before and after the meal, Office for Aging, all of the senior centers, all 8 of them, have activities.
Yeah, they do.
And our senior newspaper or our website, if you looked at the senior centers, you would see the just multitude
of things, yeah.
of things that are available. We really try to offer cards and games, but a lot of educational opportunities, a lot of presentations. One of our senior centers has an upcoming variety show.
Right.
That sells out every year. About 200 people probably attend that. The centers are all very unique and very different, and all of them have their own specialties that they're really good at. One might be really good with Wii bowling. Another one really they have pool tables. One's a very arts focused. But there's a lot to do. And we have a lot of evidence-based exercise programming going on at the senior centers. We have Tai Chi, we have a program called Vivo, we have Bingo Size, we have Walk with Ease, Bone Savers. I mean, just so much going on at the centers.
And so if a person wants to be involved in one of those centers, where are they located?
So we have a senior center, Northern Broome and Whitney Point. We have Broome West in Endwell. We have First Ward in Binghamton. We have Johnson City Senior Center in Johnson City, of course. We have Eastern Broome Senior Center in Harpersville. We have Deposit Senior Center, and we have Vestal Senior Center.
And if a person, again, just to get that information out for people, what is your number? How can people connect with you?
Yep. So all of the senior center information, no matter which one, you can call the 607-778-2411 and talk to a caseworker. The senior centers do not require you to make a payment. Johnson City Senior Center and First Ward kind of have their own rules, and you should call them. But most of the senior centers are offering activities for free. You don't need to pay any kind of dues at the county senior centers. And again, the lunch is a suggested contribution.
So my guest today has been Mary Turbush. Mary, thank you for being on Encounter today. This was a great program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And for all of you, I hope you have a good day, that you're kind and generous and caring with each other. Have a good Sunday. And then